Okay. I'm not gonna rank Soniqs players for obvious reasons, but let's rank every single player in the NAL. I'm not gonna rank Soniqs players because I'll be biased, but let's rank every player in the NAL. Scrubs, thank you for the tier 1. Okay. So number 1 on achieved here. Now let me pull up some CGG a little bit. So lifetime. This ranking is going to be literally for right now, right? So lifetime achieved as an S tier Hall of Fame player for sure, without a doubt. S tier Hall of Fame player is achieved. But right now, achieved in NAL went -29. And then in NAL playoffs, oh well, I guess they don't separate the playoffs. So in playoffs and regular season, achieved what, -29. I'm gonna put achieved in C because I think achieved knows how to play the game. I also think he's better on LAN than online, but he's not quite the player that he has been in the past. So he's C. Troy Canadian went -26 with 19 plants. However, obviously IGL. Also playing Breach. I'm going to give him credit for playing Breach. Troy Canadian to me, A tier. Citizen, not going to rank Soniqs players, so I'll just put all of them on the bottom. All right, Diaz Lucas. Diaz was +19, +5. I think I would say Diaz is probably among the best in the world at his role. I'm going to put him A above Troy. Doc went -23 in NAL. But Doc went +21 in the qualifiers. Against Soniqs in the finals, Doc was +3. So I think I'm going to put Doc in C, but above achieved. Actually, no, I got to put Doc underneath achieved. All right, DP Fire. I'm going to be honest here. I don't think DP Fire is very good. I think he has gotten progressively worse since he joined Astralis. D tier. Dream went -3 in NAL with 14 plants. In the playoffs for NAL, Dream was +1 with 5 plants. I think Dream is a solid B tier level player. Fofo. Forrest and NAL was -18, -12 on entry, only 4 plants. I do think that's a really bad stage from him. I think he's a better player than that. But since we're judging it off of right now, I think I have to put Forrest C tier above achieved. Fox. Fox went +4 in NAL, -11 on entry. In NAL playoff or the qualifier, he was a -11, -3. Actually, I think I'm gonna change this a little bit. No. I think I do this for now. Based off of right now, I think I do that. Bolts. Bolts in NAL was +18. I feel like I'm just going to put Fultz B tier. Gavini, A tier. Gavini, +36. First stage ever. I actually think I put him above Troy as well. Really good player. I think Gavini's going to be a beast for a while. Gomez plus 10, plus 5 on entry. I think I put Gomez B tier, but underneath Fultz. Hat, A tier. Actually, Hat went plus 29, and then Hat went plus 4. Actually, I think we put Hat S tier right now. Hot and cold. Houghton went plus 5. I think Houghton is a very solid player. I don't think he does anything flashy, but I also doesn't think he's going to cost you. I think Houghton is a solid B tier level player. I'm giving Hat a little bit better S tier level. Well, so I think Hat and Gavini are very comparable, but I kind of give Hat a little bit more credit because I think he like hard carried his team in a way, where Gavini is like, I mean, for instance, Gavini was -3 on entry, plus 36. Hat was plus 29, 23, and 23 on entry. But Hat kind of actually, I'll leave it like this because I'll probably adjust it at the end. So I think we leave it at that. Hyper. I think S tier. I think if we have Gavini S tier, A tier, then Hat's A tier. I think that's fair. Hyper, -21 in NAL. And the playoffs, Hyper was plus 16. But I think they only played Soniqs as a pro team in the playoffs. So let me look at that real quick. So let me just look at the stats from that particular match. Because I think Soniqs were the only pro team East Coast played there. And Hyper went even. So I don't think Hyper's a B tier player right now. I think he's a C tier. But where within the C tier is Hyper? And also, like, do I think Doc is better than Hyper? I feel like I do this, maybe. C tier. I think maybe that. Yeah, I think something like that, maybe. All right, Iconic. IGL for M80. Went -8, -1 on entry. But also, IGL, I think, joined their team, helped them a lot. I think Iconic, I'm going to put B. I think I put him as the top of this level here. I also think for now, I'm going to bump Diaz up to S tier. J9, plus 29. Obviously, like a beast. I think we put J9 S tier as well, to be honest. Kansan. Kansan went plus 3, even on entry. His team then didn't make the LCQ. I feel like I put Kansan B tier. I think he's better in hot and cold, so I probably put it like this. Although, to be honest, I'm gonna go back through this and rank this because I feel like there's some players that I think are like. We'll go back through. All right, Kino. Kino plus Kino went -16, but he did have 16 plants. I think that's a bad stage for him. I would put Kino above Dream, and now that I'm looking at this, I think I want to do this. I feel like this makes more sense. I don't think Troy is like it. I'm gonna leave it like this for now, I think. Okay, Laxing. I'm gonna be honest. I think I gotta put Lax down here with DP, and I think I'd rather have DP. Merc. Merc went negative 20. He'd have 47 entry engagements. Donkey, thank you for the 14 months. I know that Merc had a really bad stage, so we're going to hit him a little bit for that, but I still think Merc is a good player for sure. So I think I put him at the top of C. And to be honest, I think I put Forest and... Because we also got to give them credit for the fact that they made the major, right? So I feel like this, maybe, right? Because we got to give some points for making the major. Is this fucking Mr. B? I assume that's Mr. B, right? Okay, so Mr. B went negative 10 in NAL, but he had 19 plants. I actually messaged I messaged Fabian about Mr. V like a really long time ago. I think when they were still looking for a player. And I said, hey, I don't know if you know about this guy, Mr. B, but he's a UK citizen, so he could play in EU, and I think he's worth trying out if you guys are looking for a player. Mr. B went +1 in the playoffs against the Soniqs. However, he went -4 with 2 plants. I think Mr. B is a good player. I think I put him here. B tier here. Yeah, we'll leave him there for now. NJR S tier. Probably the best player, I think. Newers S tier. Pamba A tier. Fish. I think Fish I'm gonna put C tier. Fish went so Fish in NAL was -5 +10 on entry. I feel like putting him C tier is fair. Rampy in NAL was +3, +5, but again, we have to penalize this team, I feel like, for not doing that great. So I feel like Rampy, we still put C tier, maybe above Fish, but under Doc and Hyper. Well, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe like this. Well, I'll come back to that. Skies, F tier. -16. So in their season, Skies was -16 with 2 plants. And then in the playoffs for the major, like the LCQ, Skies was -13. I think Skies is not playing very well. Spiker went -5 in the playoffs, and then, or sorry, not Spiker, Spiff. Spiff went -2 in the playoffs, and then in NAL, Spiff was -10. I think I want to put Spiff D tier above Laxing. Spiker, -16. I mean, he's going to be the same department, I feel like. Spoit, S tier. Surf. So Surf was -9 with 3 plants. They didn't make the major, and then they lost an LCQ, so I have to penalize them for that. I think Surf, we say, is C tier. Here. Okay. Sweater was -15 in NAL, -2 on entry, and then in NAL playoff, or the LCQ playoffs, he was +6, +5 on entry against the Soniqs in the match they lost. Surf or Sweater was -3. Honestly, I feel like I put Sweater here behind Fox. Vert. Vert went plus 12 in NAL, plus 5 overall, and then in the NAL playoffs, he was plus 3, but I don't think he did good against Soniqs in their match. I think I want to put Surf, or I think I put Vert. He's either like B or top of C. I think I put him here because I feel like this is a fair in terms of the level of player here. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm definitely going to need to make adjustments because, like, I think these level of players are different than, like, we're going to make some adjustments. Okay, Xander. Let's see. Xander went -10, -3 on entry, 2 plants, and then they didn't make the major, and then they also did not make LCQ playoffs. I think for now I put Xander here, probably above Fish, probably above Surf, but we're gonna have to make some changes. Yaga went -10 in NAL. I think Yaga is a C tier. I think I would put him like just the way they're playing right now. That doesn't mean that's what I think. All right, and then we're not gonna rank Sonic. So let's make some adjustments here. All right. So I think this is how I would rank them. NJ, Newers, actually, I think I'd rank it like this. NJ, Newers, or sorry, NJ, Spoit, Newers, J9, Diaz. Pamba, Gavini, Hat. All right, so who do I want to bump up or down here? Okay, so I think I moved them down, because I'm trying to look at the tier of player. Like, if I'm saying Vert, Merc, Forest, Achieved, Fox, Sweater, Yogg, Hyper are C, I would maybe do that. But I think Doc has been playing better than that. I feel like maybe that. And then I think you got to put Hot and above cans in. I think I put Iconic A. This is where like a lot of support players, it seems like, are. I think this stage, Dream played better than Kino, but I think overall, I would rather have Kino than Dream, but I think this stage, Dream played better than Kino. But I'm giving some credit for this stage, but then also credit for, like, overall. Like, you know, if you're a super consistent player, thank you for the tier 3. So I have to give some credit for now and then some credit for your career, right? Or like recency. I feel like Achieved I can move down probably. Well, he's Well, no, actually, that's probably fair. I think I would do this. Actually, would I rather team with Fox or Achieved? I'd rather team with Fox. Would I rather team with Sweater or Achieved? Achieved. Would I rather team with Sweater or Hyper? Hyper. And then I'd rather have Sweater than Doc. Okay, would I rather play with Canadian than Kino? I mean, for a, like, not me playing, but like for a team. Yeah, I think Troy over all these guys. Hmm. Huh. B Parm, thank you for the 12 months. All right, so does anybody deserve to be in the F tier with Skies? Honestly, I think this guy probably does. Now that I'm looking at this, no, I think that's probably right. I think I might have achieved a little bit too high, but I'm giving him credit because it's achieved. I think this, like, based off of Achieved's performance, I think Achieved is here. Like, Achieved was negative, like, Achieved was negative 29. He was the third lowest rated player in the league, but Achieved is Achieved. So I feel like just because they made the major and just because he's Achieved, I have to give him, like, some credit. Hyper also didn't play that well. He was negative 21. And Sweater didn't play that well. He was negative 15. But Sweater did just get third at SI. So I feel like that is fair. And probably Doc over Hyper then. And then, all right, looking at this, I mean, all right, so in order, NJ, Spoit, New, J9, Diaz, and then Panba, Gavini, Hat, Iconic, Troy, Kino, Dream, Fultz, Mr. B, Gomez, Houghton, Kansan. Vert, Merc, Forrest, Yogg, Fox, Sweater, Achieved, Doc, Hyper. This one is weird. Because none of these guys play, like... I think C is a weird category because none of them actually played well. I think we have to move Vert up. Bert actually played well, so I don't think it's fair to put him in that category. Bert was plus 12, plus 5 on entry. He can't be like, these are all good players who had a bad stage, basically. Bert actually had a good stage. It's like, Merc was negative 20, Force was negative 18, Yogg was negative 10, Fox was plus 4. I think that's still fair. Sweater was negative 15, Achieved was negative 29. I think that's fair. Iconic. So Iconic was negative 8. And negative 1 on entry. But Iconic IGLs, and I also think that he's just good. And his team made the major. Alright, so what do we think about this list? NJ, Spoit, New, J9, Diaz. Panba, Gavini, Hat, Iconic. Troy, Kino, Dream, Fultz, Mr. B, Gomez, Houghton, Kansan, Vert, Iconic, Merc, Forrest, Yogg, Fox, Sweater, Achieved, Doc, Hyper, Yeti, Rampy, Surf, Fish, DP, Spiff, Lax, Spiker, Skies. Rampy didn't have a terrible stage. So Rampy was plus 3, plus 5 on entry, playing Knock and Frost. But they didn't make the major, and they didn't even make LCQ playoffs. Rampy above Yeti is fair. I do think maybe Kansan is rated a little bit too high. But the thing is with Kansan is at this stage, Kansan was plus 3, 75% cost, which is the highest cost in the entire league. Right? And then the last stage that Kansan played before Mirage on Soniqs, he was like one of the 10 highest rated players in the league. And then at the major that he played in, he was like 1.07. So I think it's fair for Kansan. If anything, I think Kansan's like C with all these guys. But I think Kansan's still like, I think his team is his ass. I think he's good. Girthy, think of the tier 1. What do we think about this list? NJ, Spoit, New, J9, Diaz, Pamba, Gavini, Hat, Iconic, Troy, Kino, Dream, Fultz, Mr. B, Gomez, Houghton, Vert, Kansan, Mercs, Forrest, Yogg, Fox, Sweater, Achieved, Doc, Hyper, Rampy, Yeti, Surf, Fish, DP, Spiff, DP, Lax, Spiker, Skies. If you make the no player that makes the major is going to be D or F, just period. Like, if you make the major, you're not a D tier level player. You're doing something right. All right.